Could Boris Johnson really make a comeback? Boris Johnson, the man ousted as UK Prime Minister by his own government just 3 months ago, has emerged as an early frontrunner to be the next Prime Minister. His replacement Liz Truss crashed and burned after 45 days in the job, announcing her resignation after being forced to ditch most of her policy program after it spooked the financial markets. A second Johnson premiership would be an extraordinary turnaround even for a politician who has made miraculous comebacks before. The last time anyone returned to the office of Prime Minister after losing the leadership of their party was 140 years ago when William Gladstone returned to lead the Liberals, although some party leaders have had 2 stints as Prime Minister, including Sir Winston Churchill and Harold Wilson. The final months of Mr. Johnson's time in office were dogged by a series of scandals and accusations he had broken ministerial rules by not telling the truth about COVID lockdown busting parties in Downing Street. He was eventually ejected from office after a mass revolt by government ministers, but he remains under investigation by the Parliamentary Standards Committee, which could, in theory, lead to him being suspended from Parliament, or even being kicked out as an MP. Mr. Johnson has yet to officially announce he will stand. The only contender to break cover so far is Cabinet Minister Penny Mordaunt, who came third in the last leadership election. Mr. Johnson is flying back to London from a Caribbean holiday. A close ally, Sir James Duddridge, has told the media Mr. Johnson is up for a leadership bid. Sir James, who has publicly endorsed Mr. Johnson, said the former Prime Minister had told him, "We are going to do this." In his final appearance at Prime Minister's Questions in July this year, Mr. Johnson made it clear that he did not think he had fairly treated and was already thinking of making a comeback. He signed off with "Hasta la vista, baby." He could only have dropped a heavier hint that he was not finished yet if he had used another catchphrase from the Terminator films, "I'll be back." Mr. Johnson won the 2019 general election, and under the British Constitution the party in power can change leader without another election. Ms. Truss was elected by Conservative Party members, who may get the final say in this latest contest, if 2 contenders remain after MPs have voted, one of his most loyal supporters. Business Secretary Jacob Rees-Mogg has launched a social media campaign to get him back in Downing Street, and dozens of Conservative MPs have publicly backed him. Defence Secretary Ben Wallace, seen as an influential force in the Conservative Party, told the BBC he was leaning towards supporting Mr. Johnson. Party rules for the leadership contest mean hopefuls need the backing of at least 100 Tory MPs by Monday afternoon to stay in the race.